everyone, welcome back to the channel. You know those creepy stories your friends tell you at sleepovers? The ones that make you check under your bed before going to sleep? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into 5 urban legends that aren't legends at all. These actually happen to real people. Let's get into it. Okay, so picture this. You just got back from an amazing vacation in South America. Beautiful beaches, incredible food, the whole deal. But then you start feeling weird, like you're coming down with a cold or something. Except this cold comes with the worst headache of your life. And it itches, not on the outside, but inside your head. Like there's something crawling around in there that you can't reach. That's exactly what happened to a young British woman named Rochelle Harris after she came back from Peru with her boyfriend. First, she thought it was just a regular illness. You know, travel bug, maybe some bad food. But then things got way worse. She started hearing scratching noises in her ear. Actual scratching, like something was moving around in there. When she woke up one morning, her pillow was soaked with fluid. That's when she knew something was seriously wrong. Her mom rushed her to the doctor, who took one look and immediately sent her to an ear specialist. And what did the specialist find? Maggots. Living, breathing maggots inside her ear. The doctor ordered an emergency scan because they needed to know if these things had made it to her brain. Thankfully, they hadn't gotten that far yet. But here's where it gets even more disturbing. They tried drowning them out with olive oil, but that barely worked. So they had to operate. And when they went in with a microscope, they found 8 large maggots that had already eaten a 12-millimeter hole in her ear canal. They'd been feeding on her flesh the whole time. Turns out, when Rochelle was in Peru, she walked through a swarm of flies. One of them flew into her ear, and she thought she'd shoot it away. But that fly had already laid eggs inside her ear. And from there, they just kept growing and multiplying. Absolutely horrifying. Alright, imagine you're at a carnival funhouse in the 1970s. You're walking through, having a good time, and you see this super realistic mummy prop. The skin looks weathered, the bones are showing through, and honestly, it even smells a bit funky. But hey, that's just good special effects, right? Kids are poking it, taking pictures with it, laughing at how creepy it looks. Except here's the thing. It wasn't a prop. It was an actual dead body. This is the story of Elmer McCurdy, an outlaw and train robber from the early 1900s. Elmer got himself killed in a shootout after stealing a whopping $46 and 2 jugs of whiskey. Real criminal mastermind, this guy. When nobody came to claim his body, the local undertaker embalmed him and decided, you know what? I did a pretty good job on this one. I'm gonna put him on display. So he propped Elmer up in the funeral home and charged people a nickel to see him. And people actually paid. By 1915, business was booming. That's when 2 guys showed up claiming to be Elmer's long-lost brothers. The undertaker was suspicious, but eventually handed over the body. Plot twist. They weren't his brothers at all. They were carnival promoters. For the next several decades, Elmer's corpse was paraded around from carnival to carnival, sideshow to sideshow. Eventually, he ended up painted in bright fluorescent paint as a prop in a funhouse in Long Beach, California. Nobody knew he was real until 1976, when a crew filming the $6 million man accidentally knocked off one of his arms. That's when they saw the human bone inside. After 66 years of being a carnival attraction, Elmer McCurdy was finally laid to rest in Oklahoma. Can you imagine? 66 years. This one's a classic urban legend, but the real story behind it is genuinely terrifying. So the legend goes like this. A woman is driving home alone late at night. Suddenly, a car comes up behind her and starts flashing its high beams. On and off, on and off. She speeds up, thinking the driver's just being a jerk. But the car stays right behind her, still flashing those lights. Then it starts honking, then ramming her car. She's absolutely terrified. She floors it, takes the exit to her house, and pulls into her garage. Right as she's about to get out, a man rises up from her back seat with a knife. He slices her throat. The driver behind her had been trying to warn her the whole time that someone was hiding in her car. Now, here's the real story that inspired this legend. Back in 1964 in New York City, an escaped murderer was on the run. In a moment of desperate genius or stupidity, depending on how you look at it, he decided to hide in the back seat of a police car. His plan was to wait for the officer to come back, kill him, and steal the vehicle. But when the cop returned and opened his door, he spotted the guy immediately. The officer shot him dead right there. End of story. But think about it. What if the officer hadn't noticed? What if this had happened to someone else who wasn't trained to be observant? That's the terrifying part. How many times do you check your back seat before getting in your car? Yeah, me neither. But maybe we should start. If you grew up on Staten Island, you know this name. Cropsey, the hook-handed maniac who lived in the abandoned ruins of Cropsey Hospital, snatching up any kid who got too close. Every kid on the island knew someone who claimed to have seen him or knew someone who had disappeared because of him. But here's the thing. Cropsey was real. His real name was Andre Rand, born Frank Russian. He used to work as a janitor at Willowbrook State School, which was a facility for mentally disabled children. The place got shut down for horrific abuses and mistreatment of students. Around that time, Rand mysteriously quit and basically vanished from society. Then kids started disappearing. In 1972, 5-year-old Alice Pereira vanished while playing with her brother. Then in 1981, 7-year-old Holly and Hughes disappeared while buying soap with a friend. Multiple witnesses said they saw Rand pull up in a Volkswagen, grab Holly, and drive away. She was never seen again. Just 12 days after Rand was released from prison in 1983, another kid named Tyahese Jackson disappeared. Rand was questioned but never charged. Then a 22-year-old man named Hank Gafforio, who had developmental disabilities, went missing. He was last seen with Rand. The final victim was Jennifer Schweiger in 1987. She had Down syndrome and was last seen walking with Rand. After a 35-day search, they found her body in a shallow grave near the old Willowbrook State School. When police searched the area, they found Rand's makeshift campsite right near the grave. Rand was convicted of kidnapping Jennifer and Holly, but they never found enough evidence to charge him with murder. None of the other bodies were ever recovered. He's currently serving 50 years to life and won't be eligible for parole until 2037. The real boogeyman of Staten Island is behind bars, but the fear he created, that still lives on. The call is coming from inside the house. You've heard that line in a million horror movies. A babysitter, alone with kids, starts getting creepy phone calls. Heavy breathing, maniacal laughter. A whispered voice asking, "Did you check on the children?" She calls the operator to trace the call, and that's when she gets the horrifying news. The calls are coming from inside the house. This legend is based on a real case that happened in Missouri in 1950. 13-year-old Janet Christman was babysitting 3-year-old Gregory Romick. Sometime between 10:30 p.m. and 1:30 a.m., she was attacked inside the home. Police received a frantic phone call from a screaming girl begging for help before the line went dead. But because there was no attendant at the telephone switchboard that late at night, they couldn't trace where the call came from. When Mr. and Mrs. Romick came home at 1:30 a.m., They found both the front and back doors wide open and a window broken. Inside, they discovered Janet lying in a pool of blood. She had been stabbed repeatedly in the back of the head with what looked like a mechanical pencil. She'd been strangled with a cord, hit with a blunt weapon, and raped. The prime suspect was a neighbor named Robert Mueller. He'd expressed inappropriate interest in Janet before, even commenting on her figure and the fact that she was a virgin. Despite being the obvious suspect, he was never charged. The case remains officially unsolved to this day. Janet Christman never got justice. And that horrifying phone call she made? That became the basis for one of the most terrifying urban legends ever told. So there you have it. 5 urban legends that turned out to be absolutely true. Makes you think twice about dismissing these stories as just campfire tales, doesn't it? Because sometimes the scariest stories are the ones that actually happened. If you enjoyed this deep dive into real-life horror, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're bringing you a new terrifying mystery every single week. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe out there.